So thank you for joining the stream tonight. Tonight we're going to be talking first off about Insurgency Sandstorm, the news that's going on, what's happening or what's not happening. Tonight we've got Balked with us. Also, I think Stealth Slicer will join us later on. But tonight we're going to be talking about Insurgency Sandstorm, where they are at the moment, and also we're going to be talking about Battlefield. And I've done that again. I've left the audio on. But anyway, we're going to talk about Insurgency Sandstorm and the leaks surrounding Battlefield 6. And like I say, it's me and Balked at the moment. As you know, if you watch the streams on a regular basis, you know that Stealth Slicer usually joins us later on. So on the panel, it's me and Balked. How are you doing, Balked?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good. So anyway, let's talk about Insurgency Sandstorm. So I'm not sure if anyone in the chat actually watched the live stream on Wednesday. It's usually Thursday, actually, but I think it was on a Wednesday. I got a message off Ben from No Cinematics, and he says, have you seen what's going on? Now, I didn't get a notification. I don't know if it's because I'm blocked to shit off all their social media. I'm not allowed to post on their Twitch. I'm not allowed to post on their Twitter. So I usually watch it on YouTube. And my comments get instantly deleted when I post a comment, even though apparently they don't listen to or watch YouTube. So I changed over to a different account and I went posting. And I'm sure they didn't like that. So anyway, Mikey Zaharas, the main head of programming at NWI, has left the studio. I think that's a massive blow. I don't know about you, Balked. What do you think? Fucking Mikey's gone.
Yeah, I think, it's always a big loss when you lose major characters out of a team and major players. And I'm sure it's going to have some impact. But at the same time, this has happened with several games over the last kind of 5 years where key people have left. And with the right management and the right money, things can carry on.
But for me, though, I don't know if you watch when they do a live stream, a developer's live stream, whatever they want to call it. I've said on many a video recently, the last few months, maybe, over 12 months, I've been watching Mikey look so uncomfortable. He looked like he didn't like what was going on. He just didn't seem to be in a good place concerning the game. And it's a shame because he was a lead programmer. I don't know, did you actually watch their live streams, Balked?
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch them live. I usually catch up with them,
right?
At a later date. But yeah, I definitely, I definitely see where you're coming from. Again, I like to play devil's advocate on these things.
Sure.
The last 12 months have been difficult for everybody.
Yeah.
And I also think, investment stopped in pretty much everything. And if I'd been leading a project in a fairly senior role and it wasn't going where I wanted it, I'd probably be looking at jumping ship now.
And I think that's what he's actually done. Yeah, I think because the only information we've really got about it is he's basically going to pastures new. Obviously, he's going to work at a different studio. He's got a good reputation. I mean, the work he's done on Insurgency Sandstorm, and I'll say it again, it's never, ever been about the game with me. It's always been about the team. Sometimes I've called Mikey out and I've said, look, mate, stop saying that you're transparent because you're clearly not. But with Mikey, I always said I liked the guy, and I did. I really liked Mikey. And that's where I seen the discomfort when I was watching the live streams. I don't think he liked the direction that we're going, same as the actual PC players out there. Apparently Father Hank is moving to Australia, so he's going to be no longer the community manager. And I've got to say it, and I am going to say it, good riddance at the end of the day. You just didn't do the job that you were supposed to do. I understand there is restrictions. You work for a company and they say you can't say certain things, but I'm sorry, I couldn't work like that. If I'm a community manager, I need to manage a community. I need to give them information. And again, console information on Insurgency Sandstorm, all we got is it's coming out in the summer. I don't know. Did you actually see the last one balked?
Yeah, so it's an interesting one because I don't think I've ever come across a community manager I've liked in any game.
In anyone?
Yeah. For the exact reasons that you just said. Personally, I always feel like they lack integrity, but I also realise their hands are tied professionally and they've got a script to read.
Yeah.
But let's just have a paid spokesman rather than a community manager, because they're not managing a community; they're just filtering information.
Like I always said, Father Hank to me was a puppet balked.
Yeah, but that's the nature of the job. I mean, you know, going back to some of the old Battlefield community managers, it's exactly the same. You know, they'd make a terrible decision. They'd say, "We're listening to you," but they wouldn't revert anything. And that's gone all the way through to Battlefield 5. We saw the same scenario.
Yeah.
Now, these guys are essentially lightning rods.
Right.
And I kind of feel like they're put there for us to dislike and to take some of the heat away from the people who actually make the decisions.
Sure. I mean, that is again, that is, it's like you said, that is a position. But my thoughts on that is, look, don't take that job if you can't take the heat at the end of the day. It's like being a chef and you can't work in a hot kitchen. Look, you took that job on. I've been criticised for being, too abrupt with the community managers, and I've not liked the last two, but I did actually like Alex, the one before Dara Death. I thought Alex was all right. He did a great job. And again, I seen discomfort in him when he was doing the developer live streams, and basically he left, when Dara Death came in. But Dara Death for me was useless. Father Hank is useless. And the bottom line is, I don't think he'll be missed. Talking about his sneakers on a developer live stream when people are crying out for console information. And I know they must have got sick of it, but the bottom line is that's what the people wanted, that the console players, were going on there just for some information, and, he's showing his sneakers. It didn't go down too well with me, and I'm sure the console community. But I'm just going to go to the comments. I just want to say hi to everyone that's watching. Emerald 90, always there, nice to see you, mate. Ela Awesome 1000, what are the thoughts of the rumour of co-op campaign? We'll talk about that in a bit. I'm sure you're talking about Battlefield. We've also got One Shot. How you doing, Dave? Really nice to see you again. Fizzy 360 Wolf, cooperative campaign. We'll talk about that when we get on Battlefield, mate. Staz, how you doing, mate? Nice to see you. Pretty sure the State of Insurgency Sandstorm, at least for the console release, is that word. I can't say it live on stream because I'll get in trouble because YouTube is proper on one at the moment. Slavic, how you doing, mate? Really good to see you. Not seen you for a while. I know you pop on the streams, but I've not seen you in game for a while. Yeah, so I think balked. It was an absolute cop-out giving all they give them. It's going to be released in late summer. I mean, how many times have we heard that, mate? How many times have we been given a date?
Yeah, I suppose, to a certain point, the community becomes immune to promises.
Yeah.
Like anything, take it with a pinch of salt. It'd be nice to see, but the summer's a long way off. The end of the summer even further.
Correct. I have got this feeling they just want people to forget about there was ever a console edition. And I'm just waiting for that announcement where they turn around and say, because I know they've got a new game in development and they're saying, look, we're going to drop Insurgency Sandstorm because we're releasing a new game and we're going to bring that out on console. I don't think that'll go down too well, to be honest. The one thing I will actually say is please, 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 please do not, if it comes available as a pre-order, do not pre-order it. I, as a rule nowadays, don't pre-order anything. I fell into that trap and I've been caught, I've been snagged. Especially with Battlefield 5, I did that with that, and look how that turned out. But please, because there's people out there still not got refunds from the last pre-order. They've not helped them. They've left them out to dry. They've not contacted Microsoft on behalf of the Xbox players, and there's a lot of people out there that have still not got refunds. And it's unfortunate that there's still people out there that think that pre-order stands. I honestly don't think it does, because if it does, it's great if it actually does come out on console, but I'm going to stand by what I say. I still don't think this game is going to come out on console. And I do think what I said before, that they'll say, we're going to be releasing a brand new game, so therefore we're going to drop Insurgency Sandstorm as a console release, and we're just going to release the new game with console at the same time. So Cheeky Waffle, how you doing, mate? Really appreciate you coming along. I know busy with work, mate. I absolutely appreciate that. Yeah, actually, you're probably right, Emerald. It's the way they've done that, not just the fact that, we can't complain. Well, we can complain, but, it's no good complaining that they never released the console, because bottom line is it's entirely up to them. However, taking pre-orders, even though it was Microsoft who took the money, NWI have just not helped the console players. And you saying it should be on something like Watchdog, I think an equivalent of a gaming sort of program or gaming association, I thought maybe would have took this up, but they haven't. It's been myself and a few others that have been calling them out. But bottom line is they're probably going to get away with it. How would you go, about that, Bolts? These people pre-ordered the game. Some did actually get refunds, but some have still actually not got refunds. And when they actually now approach Microsoft is saying, look, that game's gone. It's not even on the store anymore. We can't help you. What are your thoughts on that?
As far as I'm aware, in the UK at least, consumer rights still stands. So you should still be able to pursue a refund.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's worth your time, effort, and money potentially to do that is a different thing. But you should be protected. Now, obviously, that doesn't apply to everybody in every country, but it's why Steam had to put refunds in. I think ultimately, like anything, it's buyer beware.
Yeah.
There's a certain. I'm the same as you. I will not pre-order anything anymore. I don't care what.
Definitely not anymore. No, even if I'm gagging
in my hand at the moment of transaction,
Correct.
I'm not interested, because you're selling promises.
Correct.
Been burnt too many times. But yeah, Microsoft as the people who conducted the transaction, even if it was behalf on NWI, they need to make good.
I think so as well. I mean, you can't just leave people, hanging. And I made a video. One of my subscribers actually got in touch with me. He actually sent me all the paperwork, and he actually had Barclaycard on him. And the bottom line is, they went to try and get his money back. Credit cards, you can, do a chargeback, whatever. And they couldn't get it back off Microsoft because the product it wasn't even available. There wasn't. And he actually got charged twice. He got charged twice, and even Barclaycard couldn't get the money back. So Barclaycard actually told him to go to Citizens Advice and do a private sort of sue them privately as a off their own back sort of thing. But Microsoft, in all fairness, apparently when he spoke to Microsoft, they were really, really helpful. And they said, basically, do you ask NWI to get in touch with us? So I did. And I actually emailed them and everything and said, look, please help these people. Just get in touch with Microsoft. And did they? Nah, they didn't. Did nothing.
Obviously everybody's in different financial situations, but it's a small fee of £80 to go to a small claims court.
Right.
And I bet you Microsoft had just cut you a check.
Do you think so?
Why would they bother paying?
No, exactly. Yeah, and actually it'd probably go in the news. Some, random guys actually suing Microsoft for the money back for a game that wasn't even available, that was pulled from their store.
Purchase, you'll have it on your bank statement. You'll probably have an email confirming you pre-ordered it, and anybody will be able to check the website as of now and see that it's not there anymore.
Yeah, but apparently there's still people, right? Some people that have pre-ordered it, bought, and obviously it's disappeared. It's no longer on the store, but it's still in their games library on Xbox. It's actually still there. And when you click on it, it says, something like cannot start this game, whatever. So the actual game as such, if you go into your Microsoft Store, is actually still there on people who've pre-ordered it and not got the money back.
It's mad. At the end of the day, it's shady business, and it's not something that anybody should be condoning.
No. But the fact NWI has just not helped them. They've really, they could have stepped in and says, look, we understand we've let you down with the console edition. We'll step in. We'll get in touch with Microsoft on your behalf. And we'll try and get your money back. But you know what? They've done nothing. They've not even tried to help this group of people, this community that could make them millions and millions of pounds, dollars.
Usually, I'd try and play devil's advocate, and I'd try and think of a reason why NWI have let everybody down. But this is NWI we're talking about. They let everybody down every day. So.
Exactly. Exactly. Then they're not actually getting a good reputation, mate.
Yeah. One more thing on the list.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't actually know where they're going to be going with this, and I think it's a little bit of a cop out that they've said, late summer. I just think they're giving themselves time, trying to get people off the back. I actually thought, honestly, I thought because. I was looking at the dates and I thought, is this an April Fool's? Is Canada that far ahead that it could be, the 1st of April? But I thought, nah, because it's the second. I thought maybe it's there actually into the 1st. I didn't know the time difference. And
the joke is they meant summer 2022.
Yeah, probably late summer. They just didn't say what year.
Yeah. You got us again.
But it's, and I'll say it, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think Insurgency Sandstorm would be totally dead without the ISMC mod. I think them lads, that group of developers over there at the ISMC are the people who are keeping that game together. And if anyone's playing it, and I'd actually still say play Insurgency Sandstorm because it's a great game. But I'd go to one of the servers with the ISMC mod on it because that really is saving Insurgency Sandstorm. Right. So anyway, like I say, I feel no sadness that Father Hank is moving to Australia and he'll be no longer the community manager. I believe he's got a position, but he's definitely not going to be the community manager. And he said to certain people out there, please don't be nasty to the new community manager. I'm sure we know what people he means. But anyway, look, if a community manager comes along and he's open with us, he's open with the console community, then how can anyone have a go at him? I actually said when Mikey took over as a community manager from Dara Def, I actually said I've got high hopes. I think this boy could possibly do something, and he just didn't. Dara Def stepped out of the shoes and he stepped straight into them. Pair of puppets, absolutely useless at the job they were doing, and totally disregarded and disrespected the console community. So I think, Mikey, I'm really saddened the fact that he's gone. I'm happy for him. Hopefully we'll see him, developing a game that all of us will be playing in the future. Father Hank, couldn't give a shit, to be honest. Off you go. You're irrelevant. You're a puppet, I'm afraid. And NWI, your reputation is going down and down. And the one thing, Bort, I can't understand is the Embracer Group, because they've got a good name. How are they standing for this? Or is it them who are pulling all the strings now? I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
You never know, do you? You never know. And this ties into something that we talk about these guys like Father Hank and other community managers from other games.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, all things aside, they're humans doing a job. It's not always as crystal clear as they're not doing a good job because they're individually not any good. There's lots and lots of things that go on behind the scenes. I mean, the amount of NDAs and stuff these guys probably sign.
Correct.
They're you say the wrong thing, it's not just your job, but we'll see you in court.
Exactly, and they would actually sue them. But like there was a comment there from LR Somo 1000. I don't see how we can trust a summer release when Father Hank said, and he did, we hope. Do you know what I mean? So that doesn't give you any trust. The actual community manager is saying, it's coming out late summer. We hope. That mean like say that sort of justifies what I said before. I think they're just buying themselves some time. And like Stas says, well, they didn't say what year. Yeah, we actually said that, Stas, a few minutes ago. I just think it's a rocky road to take. NWI are not doing the right thing. I don't know if it's the Embracer group that are saying, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. And that maybe is why Mikey's walked. I don't know. I just think that Insurgency Sandstorm at this moment in time is in a really, really bad place.
I think what you said earlier about they've got another game coming out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they've got a new game in development. Go on, Stas, Box.
Yeah. They're going to, the publishers themselves, they're going to be pouring their resources into something new.
Yeah.
It's a costly exercise releasing a game, and that takes a lot of resources.
Exactly.
Sandstorm came out in 2018, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
It's been a while. I can see why they possibly don't want to invest anymore, but just come out and say it.
Exactly. That's all the console community want. I think it's too late to redeem yourself. But I mean, the only thing, if it's not going to come out, they need to say it. And you know what's quite worrying, Balked, is the fact that the console port apparently was handed over to Saber Interactive. And you see, if you use Twitter, anyone uses Twitter and they follow Saber Interactive, constantly tweeting out about games that they're, being released, things they're working on. Absolutely nothing about Insurgency Sandstorm. And these are the people that are supposed to be doing the port. Don't believe it. Don't trust them. Still going to say it. I don't think it's going to come out on the console. I'll be very surprised. And I will be happy for the console community because, Box, like I said it, and we've said it in private, I love the game. Absolutely love the game. Just really, really dislike the people that are dealing with it, the team over there. Not the actual developers, not the coders, people like the marketing team, people like the community manager. I think you're just a waste of time, and it's really disrespectful the way that you've acted. So anyway...
I agree with that.
Hey, here he is.
I've been there for a few minutes.
Oh, have you?
Father Hank, I was just waiting for a minute.
Did you see it, Stealth? Did you see the live stream?
No, because I've stopped watching them because I just don't care anymore.
Does that annoy you?
The issue that they have now is that we've had... I'm just going to use a quote from Battlestar Galactica. All this has happened before, and all this will happen again. There's too many red flags. We've been down this way for
how many times?
I've lost count. I don't care anymore at this point. It's just like, I love your game. I want to love you guys as a publisher and a dev.
Yeah.
But
I just can't.
There are too many red flags to put stock in anything you say anymore. Until we see hard evidence and hard progress, I don't trust you, unfortunately.
Exactly. And it enhances what people are saying.
So we all one shot. Sorry.
Yeah. The likes of Mikey Zahoras has left. That's got to tell people something out there. The lead programmer of the game has left. And how many times, Stealth, have we said how uncomfortable he looks on them live streams?
Yeah, I mean, when you're doing a live stream, that's the thing. If you're not used to doing a live stream with a visual element, you will default essentially to what you're actually doing. You're not putting on a facade because you're not used to putting on a facade.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that's exactly what happened because we will never know. But if you feel uncomfortable on a topic, people will potentially pick up on that. And I mean, if people are bringing up topics and discussing things on a live stream and you can't say anything and you're just maybe.
Exactly.
Oh no. Let's move on. If you're not responding to things, if you're not engaging with them, even if you don't engage with them to essentially deflect the question like a politician, or if you engage with them to say no, sorry, if you're just not engaging or you're not really giving full and or wholehearted responses, it stands out, and that then is interpreted by the community as something bad is going on and we're not being
And without actually saying anything, they're telling us so much.
point exactly.
Just by the reactions, just by him not saying things, and like I said, looking at Mikey in the past live streams, how uncomfortable he's looking. Then all of a sudden he's gone, and it was a case of, he's not going in 2 months. Mikey Zahoras is leaving NWI as from today.
That's a bit insane.
Yeah.
Okay, so put in perspective, I would be expecting anyone who's just handed in their notice to do at least a month.
Yeah.
2 weeks bare minimum is the law. Usually it's a month in any basic contract. So either something really weird has happened, or we just weren't told prior. I can't say which, but
he probably is the latter. It probably is the latter. Because, go on, Bolt.
There's also the chance that this has been going on for a while.
Yeah,
and the announcement has just fell at the end of his notice period.
Exactly.
This conversation could have been happening at Christmas.
Yeah, possibly, because there's not been a live stream for a while.
Yeah, I mean, that again would make sense, because, I mean, he's a senior dev. He's probably had maybe a couple years at NWI. I don't know his work history. But as a senior, you can expect them to have a longer notice period, because they're a senior.
I don't know. I don't actually know, in all fairness. Where did they go from here? Because they're losing so many members of the team. All right, they've employed a lot of people, but it doesn't it doesn't give you any positive thoughts that, like, the lead programmer's gone. All right, how much I dislike him, but and he says he's moving to Australia. Father Hank's no longer going to be the community manager, and apparently we're supposed to be nice to the next one. People out there,
honestly, it's blow after blow, because, I mean, we lost. Well, I say lost. It was no great loss. We lost Dara.
Yeah.
Pre-Christmas
wasn't a great loss.
We lost Hank I'm just going to call it 3 months into this year, because there's definitely have been backroom talks. This will have been going for a while. He won't have just suddenly said, "Yeah, I'm leaving by," and it will have happened overnight. And then the lead programmer goes. I mean, the turnover of senior staff is very high.
Yeah,
or at least staff that is in the public view. That's a bit concerning. I mean,
but Mikey was very public, even when Alex was the community manager. Mikey was always on the developer streams. He's been like an integral part of not just making a great game. He was actually out there. He was putting his face forward.
I can't really see NWI bringing someone into, should we say, Phoenix effect this. I can't see them saying, right, we've lost our lead programmer, let's bring in another lead programmer and let's get him to really, get things going again.
Sure.
I just can't see them doing that. I see them, quite rightly, looking at their current staff and saying, who can we promote into lead programmer? Promoting them into it, but I don't think that's going to turn anything around. I think that'll just keep the ship just ticking along on its current course.
Probably.
Just to put a different angle on this.
Sure.
I've just checked out the the player stats for the last 12 months on Sandstorm.
Go on.
So between March 20 and March 21, the average player count was 5,615.
That's a lot better than I thought it was, in all fairness.
Now, don't get me wrong, there was lows of 2,662. But let's just focus on the average for a second. In the past 24 hours, that's been 3,500.
That's not bad, actually.
Yeah, I usually see it just shy of 3,000 players. Whenever I'm on it.
I just wonder though, how many sales are they making?
Yeah, because I mean, I personally feel Insurgency Sandstorm, I have not seen pushed or advertised
anywhere
outside of Insurgency Sandstorm.
Anywhere, yeah, exactly.
So I honestly feel it's probably the veteran players, which, yeah, good on them. It's a great game, but I don't see the game going anywhere.
And can I just say something? A little bird told me. Apparently, 80% of those stats are playing ISMC mod servers only.
Ooh,
80%. Because even the lads at ISMC said, probably 50%. I believe it's near 80% of people who are playing Insurgency Sandstorm at this moment in time is playing with using the ISMC mod servers. So that tells you something.
Obviously, it's it's circumstantial, but I've got technically 2 ISMC servers. And I have 1 increased bots, just vanilla server.
Yeah.
The vanilla server is always full first.
Really?
Always.
I can see that, because I definitely know when I'm playing the game, sometimes it feels a bit empty. So I can see why people would go for that over wanting to download and.
I think that's one of the issues, the size of the downloads.
Yeah, I could see why that is happening, definitely.
So, this is an interesting one. I don't necessarily think it's the size of the downloads. I think it's the download platform for the mods.
Right.
Now, in all honesty, mod.io, once you get your head around it, is great. The downloads are fast and it works very, very well, in my opinion.
Sure.
Even on the server side.
Yeah, I feel... Sorry,
go on. I said, but somebody who's used to clicking subscribe in Steam Workshop and it works for them.
Yeah, I was literally going to say, I definitely feel that a lot of the things that put people off, outside of download speeds and size of mods, is mod.io it's always, to me, felt inconsistent. Because, I know I've had games where it's like, yeah, downloaded fine, I've booted up a modded map or something. Mordhau's a good example, I play that on the regular. And, I can't see enemies or I can't see geometry. And I'm like, fuck's sake, I have to go and cancel out, delete that mod from my IO, re-get it. It just feels a lot less stable than, as you say, Steam Workshop. You click that button, you know it's going to work.
As far as I'm aware, mod.io, the only reason it exists is because it was a cross-platform solution, where Steam Workshop isn't.
That makes sense.
But if only we had the game on a different platform to justify it.
Well, maybe that'd be a different situation. Can I just go to the chat? Because I've been ignoring the chat. Let's have a look. So we got stars. They didn't say which year. We got that one. Leonard Sylvia. I hope Mikey Zahoras makes his own studio. Do you know what? That'd be a thing. He's experienced enough. He's well liked in the community, and I think he's well liked in his own field. That'd be really good, and it's something I'd like to keep my eye on. I really, honestly, genuinely do wish that guy well. So Bluenetic, it'll probably be the only on new gen consoles. If it is, that's another cop out for me. Bluenetic. They promised it on the PS4 and the Xbox One X, and then they said they're not going to release it at that specific time because they were enhancing it for the new generation consoles. I honestly don't think it's coming out, and I think this late summer bollocks is just them biding their time. One shot, so say we all. Yeah, I think Stealth got that in before. Leonard, I was excited when they said they're bringing HD textures back, but it's only characters, not maps. Yeah, exactly. There's
in the first place.
Exactly. Leave them alone. I think they thought that was going to sort out the optimization issues. It fucking didn't. I know. And Leonard, there's another one from Leonard. He looked like he was held at gunpoint or an NDA gunpoint. And we discussed that, myself, Borks and Stealth actually sort of mentioned something like that. NDAs can be a very powerful thing. They can be worth not the paper they're written on to, someone who wants to play an alpha in that. But if you're employed by a company and you sign an NDA as a part of your contract, yeah, they can be very, very scary pieces of paper.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
Sorry, I was just going to say
Go on,
around
Steph.
that NDA point. I have been in not even alphas, betas, closed betas before, and yeah, as Devlin says, some of them you might as well not read. Other
Yeah.
ones that I've been in before, some of my favorite game franchises. I'm not going to say which because I don't want people going about and anything like that. But some of them I've read, and yeah, they're hefty. They are very hefty in terms of legal ramifications if you break them. You can't, and that's just me as a potential end user just playing something because I wanted to play it. I'm not being involved in the game's development whatsoever. But even
I mean, sometimes I don't think people actually read them stuff, to be honest, because
the two greatest lies on the internet are I have read the terms and conditions. And I accept.
Yeah, correct. But even Ben, when he went into the Insurgency Sandstorm partnership program, because I was trying to help him with a certain thing, and other people have told me this that are still in the partnership program, but don't really contribute, and they don't actually make Sandstorm material anymore. You know, when you leave the partnership program, your NDA states that you cannot say anything for 3 years.
Yeah, whenever I
3 years.
NDA, I find that out and I take copies of that so I know when I can talk about something and when I cannot talk about something.
And therefore then you sign it or not sign it. Okay, so we got 15 watching at the moment. It wasn't the peak of the day, but we've only got 4 likes, chaps. Tick that like button. It really helps us with the algorithm. Yes, please. If you could tick that like button. I know it's easy to forget. I do it myself when I'm watching my favourite streamers. I really appreciate it if you could actually do that. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And to Stealth Slicer 77, Bork's not got his channel yet. I'm sure he'll get one. He might do some sort of tutorial how to set up servers. That'd be a good one, actually. I think that could be really good. Anyway, let's just go back to the comments. So Leonard says quite rightly, you want to play an ISMC server, sometimes you get 100 gig of custom maps to play on the server. Totally see that. And then he says Steam Workshop is godly and faster. I've never used it. It's something Bork probably be able to talk about. The latest summer cope is so people stop asking. Totally agree with you, mate. Yeah. Totally agree. So anyway, we've gone a bit too much on Insurgency Sandstorm. Can we actually move over to Battlefield just to sort of quickly talk about what leaks we've been having recently? Have you seen anything, Stealth?
Honestly, I've been keeping my head buried because in the initial wave of leaks and such, I tend to give it 2 weeks or so just so people can calm down, just so we can start trying to see fact from fiction, because I've already heard completely contradictory stuff about these leaks. So I don't know what to put stock in, because I thought, yeah, this looks interesting, that looks interesting. And then immediately the next day you'll get someone saying the polar opposite or something completely different. I'm like, yeah, it's a cool idea, but I have no idea what is real and what is not.
Well, just before we start, Staz, thoughts on Hell Let Loose coming to console? Think it's a great move by them. Absolutely perfect move. And I'm sure they've been, looking at other games in the industry and thought, you know what, if they're not going to do it, we're going to do it. I think it'll work well for them. The game didn't do as well as I thought it would do on PC, but on the console, I think people are crying out for a game like that. I wasn't over keen on it, to be honest. I got a bit bored, in all fairness, but on the console, I think it'll do well. So anyway, Battlefield, this is one or two things I've heard. Now, I'll start off with the things I've heard, and I'll start off with the things that everyone else has heard. Now, I think it's going to be a bit far in the future for my liking. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy the next Battlefield, but I'm just hoping they don't go too futuristic. That's something I've been told. There is people out there that have already seen the trailer. I can't really speak about that. But I'm just hoping that it's not going to be what I surmise it's going to be, and that's too futuristic. People are saying it's a follow-on from the Last Stand download from Battlefield 4, and apparently it's a sequel to Battlefield 4, which I think sounds really exciting. 28 player servers. It's going to be based in and around 2030. And I can't think of anything else. Stealth, have you heard anything else?
That's the long and the short that I've heard. There are a few other ones that I've heard, but I really don't like repeating them because I don't feel there's too much stock or proof in them. But yeah, that's exactly what I've heard. Set around 10 to 15 years in the future, potentially a continuation from Last Stand. Good God, I hope it is, because that means we're going in the direction of 2142, which was
you enjoyed that
great gem.
Yep.
But then I've heard really bizarre stuff, such as it will have a campaign or it won't have a campaign, and also
that's another thing we should talk about.
Have a campaign which you're playing as one of the superpowers of your choice, but it's not the US or Russia.
Apparently not.
Hang on. Hold up. Which is it?
Well, exactly, and I mean, all these leaks are coming from Tom Henderson, who, I don't know if you remember, it was only a few weeks ago, had to delete all his shit from everywhere because Activision were, not Activision, EA were on his back. But I've just been reading Dave saying there, that justifies what I said. Apparently 2030 or thereabouts it's going to be set in. Drones from Boston Dynamics or similar. I've heard that as well. I've not heard about the perks like COD. That's a new one on me. I've not heard that.
I've heard of that, and I don't really understand where that came from or why that's coming in.
That came from the Battle Royale thing.
Yes, didn't it?
There's going to be a separate Battle Royale, which is going to have perks like COD, but not the main game, from what I understand.
See, this is exactly what I was saying about things coming from different directions, because I was informed that there will be a Battle Royale, but in the same breath I was told the game itself, i.e. the multiplayer campaign, etc., will have this perk system. So for what I was told, it was nothing to do with the Battle Royale. It was the main game.
Right, okay.
So this is why I want to be really careful about what I say and what I think.
Sure. See, there's another thing before we actually talk about the campaign. What are yours two thoughts on Battle Royale? I actually know as a general stance, Stealth, you're just not over keen on Battle Royale full stop. But what are your thoughts on DICE having another stab at Battle Royale?
I mean, it can make you money, but we all know how the first one went. We all know that there are many other offerings on the Battle Royale market.
Yeah, in all fairness, you had to buy the full game to play it, though. That was its big failure.
That was another thing. But, I mean, putting aside my personal thoughts on Battle Royale, get good or go home, because you have to stand up to the likes of PUBG, which is still going.
You're up against Warzone.
Duty Warzone, Apex Legends. These are all even stuff like Fortnite and shit.
Yeah,
these are massively established already, and you're coming in with essentially a new offering because Firestorm was a flash in the pan. It didn't stick.
No, and it was never going to work, and it was buggy as shit, to be honest.
It's really risky in my mind, because the way I think about it is the position that DICE and Battlefield are in right now is quite tenuous, because we've been saying for a long time they need to get this right. They need to do well with it. And that makes
it's got to be near perfect for me. It's got to be near perfect.
Agreed. That makes me think two things which concern me regarding this Battle Royale mode. Either A, you put your B team on the Battle Royale mode, and
I think they've got criterion on the Battle Royale, have they not?
Which, as I'm saying, if it's a B team, you run the risk of it being not that great. You run the risk of it just bottoming out entirely. On the flip side of that, you could put all your eggs into that Battle Royale mode.
Sure.
And I think that is the worst of the two options, because that means sacrificing your main game. That's why people play Battlefield. We as Battlefield players have voted with our wallets. Voted with
time after time after time.
We don't care. We want to play Battlefield. We want the good old days of 2, 3, 4. We want those big matches. We want those big maps. We want tanks. We want planes.
Epic gameplay.
We want to feel like we are on. Would you look at that? a battlefield.
Yeah.
We don't
The-
care about
The
battlefield.
real dice moments, the real battlefield moments that we remember from the past. So, Borks, what are your views in general about battle royale games, and do you think that it's a good move or not that they might possibly bring out one, even though it's going to be apparently free to play? It's not going to be behind a paywall. You have to buy the main game. What are your views on battle royales, and do you think it's a good idea if they have one in Battlefield, the next one?
So, genuinely, I have nothing against it as a game mode. I used to play Battle Royale in Arma 3 originally.
Okay.
Before all the kind of the big
Your
games came
PUBGs
out.
and that, yeah.
Yeah, and I used to enjoy it. It was good, and I can see why people enjoy it. But it has a place. My question is, and this is a bit to I guess to EA more than DICE themselves, as a bitterly disappointed ex-Battlefield fan, and I use the word ex very precisely there.
Okay.
Are you just alienating your core fan base further away again? Because I'd argue, that's not what we want. But like I said, I'm a little bit bitter. I've kind of almost got over Battlefield being a disappointment every release now.
It's a last chance with me, honestly. I mean, people don't think I'm being serious and I'm just, it's all bravado, but it honestly is the last chance for me. If this is a balls up this time round, if I don't get something like Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, my money's going somewhere else at the end of the day.
Yeah, do you know, there's plenty of games out there. Squad is amazing. If obviously it doesn't have the jets, that kind of thing, but the infantry plays amazing. Yeah. There's alternatives which definitely kind of scratch that itch. Battlefield to me is easy to get into, hard to get out of. That's how it was.
Sure.
For me,
I wouldn't disagree with that, in all fairness.
But they've become hard to get into.
Yeah, I was basically just going to say that because I think everyone on the panel, everyone in chat, if you cast your mind back to the era of Battlefield 3 or something, I'm certain someone will have looked at the clock and gone, I should be going to bed. Let's have one more game of Battlefield 3 or 4 or whatever. You look at the clock again, it's 3 a.m.
Yeah, in the morning.
I've done it more times as I can count. I think we just want to go back to that Renaissance era of Battlefields.
I do. I think I missed that, and that's definitely where I would like to see Battlefield in this game. You know what? I like Battlefield 1. I did. I enjoyed it. I know a lot of people didn't, but you know what? I'm sick of historical. I'm sick of it. I don't want World War II. I don't want World War One. I want a modern Battlefield, even if it was something like Vietnam or something like that. I want something, up to date. I want a near future. I want a new modern game.
I think the issue that, especially sort of Call of Duty and Battlefield and such suffer from is that they originally had the World War II aesthetics to them and setting. Then they moved to modern and semi-futuristic. But the issue with that is people are now used to that. So when they go back to things like Battlefield 1, they try and shoehorn things in. Like, I've heard a lot of remarks saying that the amount of bolt actions and such you see in Battlefield 1 is very low, and you were putting yourself at a disadvantage for using it. And they have these guns which are, no word of a lie, completely fictional, never got past the prototype stage. They're trying to essentially shoehorn that style of gameplay into the old games. And I'll happily say, give me a proper World War One game, bolt action rifles and all of that. I'll go for it, absolutely. But I think, as you say, there are just little things that erode the experience of that time period, and now people are just pushing back to just drop the facade and just give us modern setting. Don't dress it up as World War One or World War II.
Exactly, and they'll have more. They'll be able to do really exactly what they want. But I'll just go to the chat here. To answer, that's from LR Somo 1000. To answer stealth, you choose whether it be the Russians or the US, apparently. And then Dave said at one shot, there's 4 classes: medic, scout, assault, or engineer. It really does sound like it possibly could be going back to where we want it to. Yeah, exactly. And we've got Marius there, Vietnam, Cold War era, yes, but I'm sick of modern shooters. There are a lot of options these days. Yeah, when I said modern shooter, I mean, I don't want World War II. I don't want World War One. Yeah, Vietnam, Korea, the Middle East. There's a lot of options to go for. I mean, I want a modern and I want a modern battlefield. Like we've had modern warfare from Call of Duty, but that's my casual fix, honestly. And I'm not disrespecting any Call of Duty players, but COD is my casual fix when I just fancy a couple of hours running and gunning. But
it's built for that.
Yeah, I want modern battlefield.
An interesting one that I don't think anybody's done right yet is Afghanistan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No one's been there. Iraq, I think South America.
If you go back to things like Battlefield 2 and Call of Duty 4, the original, I mean, that was in that time period where the war on terror and the Iraq War, that was still very fresh in people's minds. So it was all very, I don't want to say dressed up or hands off, because it was very clear it was meant to be an emulation of that, but they really couldn't show you the fine points and such because it was that recent, and it was.
May I quote 6 Days in Fallujah?
Yeah, exactly.
Look at the shit that got him because it was too close to the bone, and it was too close to the time of the conflict.
And that's why I definitely feel we haven't seen those games yet, because it was quite rightly a very touchy topic.
I think they're coming though. I think once 6 Days of Fallujah comes out, I think there'll be an influx of that. But maybe that's, sorry to butt in stuff, but maybe that could be a bad thing as well, because then you'd get a massive influx of games and different franchises doing it exactly the same thing because someone had done it and it did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah, this is the thing. That's just how the games industry works. It's peaks and troughs. I mean, up until Call of Duty 4, Call of Duty was always historical. After Call of Duty 4, it became modern focused. Battle Royales, never heard of them. Fortnite and PUBG comes out, they're everywhere. It's always just when someone takes that next thing, it'll go up. Eventually, it might die off. It might just peter away into obscurity.
Sure.
It's just how it goes. But still, I think that give it 5-10 years maybe. Over that period, I mean,
you think there'll be a lot more games like that?
You will probably get some more serious games which are based in the sort of just pre-early 2000s sort of era, I'd say. The truly modern Battlefield, if you will.
Well, Dave's just said that 2030 is not too spacey. I've got a feeling. I totally agree with it. But I've got a gut feeling it's going to be a bit further than that. Hopefully, I'm wrong because I'm not one for pew 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 pew. But 2030, I'd be absolutely fine with me. We've got about 6 minutes left. Your thoughts on the campaign Battlefield? That's one of the sore points. I've heard 2 things. There is going to be a campaign, and I've heard that it's just going to be multiplayer only. Stealth, I'll start with you, mate. Do you think there has to be, because it's a Battlefield, it has to be a campaign in the game?
Battlefield's campaigns have historically, outside of Bad Company, been very weak, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it. I don't particularly care, but if you're going to go with one, make sure you really put some effort in it, because you're going to have to.
See, I only play Battlefield for multiplayer, to be honest. So, Bork, your thoughts? Should Battlefield have a campaign or not?
I'm a sucker for a good campaign.
Oh, do you like them?
I do, yeah. And you know what? I generally play them through once, I enjoy them, and then I just move straight into the multiplayer. And I think that's just a habit from going back to when campaigns were the focus and not the multiplayer.
Yeah, correct.
But yeah, I mean, there's been some really, really good campaigns in the last few years. The latest Modern Warfare, absolutely stunning, and the last Black Ops was great as well. I don't think a Battlefield game's ever going to have the finesse that we see with those, but it'd be really nice for them to try to get close.
Yeah,
Doesn't have to be long. I don't want 6 hours. I don't want just a showcase really of what.
Yeah, of what the game's all about.
Yeah, exactly. And if it is co-op, all the more. I think there's something to be said for co-op campaigns and getting your mates in to experience it at the same time.
I think a lot of people are saying that actually in the chat. I mean, that's what they're hoping for, a co-op campaign. I'm not particularly one for campaigns. I do play them, and I usually play them, but I'm one of these people that just jump straight into multiplayer. But yeah, so hopefully, fingers crossed, it is going to be modern. I've got high hopes because I'll be really disappointed because, like I said, it is actually going to be the last chance for DICE and EA because I will drop the Battlefield franchise. But like you said before, there's so many other options out there, especially, I'm sorry, console players, but especially if you play on a PC. There's so many options out there for first-person shooters, and not just even shooters. There's just so many more options.
And I think a lot of, to my mind, a lot of the shooters that I'm seeing coming out at the moment are going back to the Rainbow Six style hardcore shooter with fast time to kills, one hit, one kill.
More tactical shooters.
Ground Branch is doing a great job.
Loving it at the moment. Actually loving Ground Branch at the moment.
Yeah. 0 Hour is another one which is doing great. I'd like to see, I know we're saying bored of World War II stuff, but I'd like to see a new Red Orchestra. That's my fingers crossed for the next couple of years.
I think people have said that actually in the chat and previous podcasts we've done. That comes up an awful lot, to be honest. But if there's people out there and you've not pressed a like button, please press the like button. There's actually 13 people watching. We've only got 10 likes. I'm sure my man NWI, the guy, you're out there to watch me. I'm sure you're one of these people and you won't give me a like. But anyway, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to Stealth Slicer 77s. We've got a couple of minutes to go. Is anyone in the chat want to know anything about Stealth, Balked, or myself? Or if you've got any last questions, we've got a couple of minutes open.
Ooh, AMA, first time we've done that.
Yay. Well, we did one, didn't we, a while back, actually, when we used to do like 2-hour podcasts.
I think we were absolutely smashed at that.
Yeah, pretty much. I think that's when everyone came on the webcams, didn't they, that time?
Yeah, we did that briefly. Yeah, I'm very open if anyone wants to ask anything in chat. Knock yourself out. I don't care what you ask me.
Well, we've got about a minute left because we're going to be closing. Right. Yeah. So we really appreciated you coming along. And I don't know if you noticed, Balked came on and gave us a chat about hosting your own servers last week. Give us all the information how to do it. I'm sure he'll help anyone out if anyone's got any questions. He's now one of the panel. The lads had a chat and we welcome Balk to the panel. And I don't know about you, Stealth, but he seems to have slipped in really well.
Yeah, I mean, I unfortunately couldn't meet the start of the podcast, but I came in, I sat here for a good 10 minutes, so you guys bounced back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm very, as I said after our last podcast, I'm very happy to have Balk with us.
Yeah, it's brilliant. How was your first podcast on the panel, Balk?
Yeah, really good. Definitely had a hangover the next morning, though.
Yeah, I think I was actually ruined. But yeah, so we've been going about an hour, 59 minutes apparently, so we must have started late. So anyway, I'm going to say goodnight. I'm going to let Stealth and Balk say their goodnight. So Stealth, over to you for your good nights, mate.
Hey guys, it's good to see you again. I'm seeing a lot of familiar names in the chat. It's always lovely, but stay safe. We'll see you next week.
And over to you, Balk.
Yeah, short and sweet. Look after yourselves. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, and thank you very much. It's been a great podcast tonight. We've had quite a lot of people staying for a long time. It's really nice that people are doing that. And like Stel said, it seems to be all the same faces. We've actually started to get 1 or 2 new people following along. Don't forget to join us next week, 8:30 UK time for the podcast. And this is Mr. Devlin saying thank you and out.